Beloved divine friends and families, your brother, your friend, me, Haji, Dr. Ocean Khan in the Raw. RAWRKs Guyana Free Media. And it's a reading taking from today again, July 31st, Friday, the Freddie Kissoon column. I know when I'm reading it, a lot of people like the style of my reading as it goes with Freddie Kissoon, who's now become a person that I admire for his balance. And the fact is, he will give buck up and correct any government. He cares not what they do to him. That man is a hero. And as I said, President Irfan Ali, President-elect, when you take power, give this man a national award and see how you can compensate his wife for what the PPP had done when in government because they have a problem with him. They had a problem with him. They fired his wife. Please correct that, President-elect, Dr. Irfan Ali. And I take a sip of coconut water from my coconut trees, blessed tropical coconut. You see my pomegranate over there, ladies and gentlemen. I have, you can't see it from here, I have Florida type grafted orange and lemons and limes. I plan my life by the grace of God. To you, Creator, Lord God of the world, thank you as I take a sip from your coconut water. I have written so much of the two presidents, Freddie Kissoon says, that came from the PNC, Forbes Burnham and Desmond Hoyt. In my 32-year-old career in journalism, that a researcher can turn those writings into a book-length manuscript. But Freddie, you got this material already. Convert it into a manuscript, which you could sell and make money, and people could study all that you're doing. I'm advising you, Freddie, what to do. I've done that with my simple articles I've been writing, and they'll be coming out very soon. All my articles I've been writing, I put them together, and I've created a book, my thoughts, my words, my vision. You could put your articles together, man. It's not so difficult. You already have the material. Prepare your manuscripts with them, man. Put it in the market. You will make some money. And you might have some friends who will sponsor it. You give them credit in the magazine, at the back page inside, or the front page inside, and maybe a little ads in between, and you could have this. You see, you're not a businessman. We are businessmen. We know how to turn these things into money. All right? You see the grass when I cut my grass in my yard? Ready? I make compost with it. My newspaper, when I crush them, I put them together with my vegetables, I make compost. Such good compost for agriculture that I can bag them. I can collect those from the market that they throw away, or the markets, and help to compost all of them and pack it and sell it. You see, you can even make money out of garbage. Back to Freddie Kissoon. I knew hardly anything about the politics of Granger when he became president. And he settled into the presidency. As he settled into the presidency, my analysis was not unkind to him. He said it means he was kind to him because he didn't know anything of him as a politician. Back to the article. He showed a complete lack of leadership qualities, proved to be a devious leader, showed that he had no self-confidence and was happy to parade as a closet dictator, then as a media functionary, a social activist, and a trained academic. I had no more positive statements to make about Granger. This was from the late 2016 onwards. He changed. He turned around. He realized the man, according to him, was a farce, a fake, a bluff. He, Freddie Kissoon, not Ocean Khan. He is saying that as an analyst, as a politician, as a journalist. Mr. Granger says he will accept GCOM's declaration without conditions attached. I will warn my readers not to be too optimistic. In other words, friends, if those of you don't understand, don't be too excited. Don't believe it too much. Because we know he will keep on trying to grind the air to get energy to continue for a few days and a few weeks so that they could also, with the warlord and the two-lettered business magnate and others, suck the finances, whatever little is left, if any, from our treasury. Granger is not as smart and thinking as Forbes Burnham. Granger is not as principled and patriotic as Desmond Hoyt. But more importantly, Granger is not concerned with intellectual standing and personal pride, as Burnham and Hoyt were. Do not confuse a dictator's excesses with his conceptualization of fundamental values. If one reads the books on Albert Speer, one of Adolf Hitler's most trusted cabinet ministers, you will see that an autocratic leader still shows concern about how others think about him. And he takes measure to ensure that he does not appear foolish and confused in the eyes of his peers. I give you back that. He takes measures to ensure that he does not appear foolish and confused in the eyes of his peers. There are silly things that Granger has done that have damaged his reputation and character enormously, that Burnham and Hoyt would have never even contemplated. They were too smart to make those mistakes. Burnham and Hoyt would never refer to the Chief Justice decision. That is her interpretation. Oh yes, that's true. Even Forbes Burnham would not have done that. Because they were self-confident, Burnham and Hoyt would have faced the nation and the world with well-studied explanations of why they reversed a stated policy. Mr. Granger does not have even a modicum of self-confidence, so he hides behind his senior party colleagues, and that is why at times when we need to see him to make a statement and to face the press, he's not available. That's my commentary. The rest is from Freddie Kissoon. One should have judged and dismissed Granger's presidency from the time he backpedaled on his 2015 election promise of softening the law relating to marijuana. It was he and he alone in both the PNC and AFC that no longer wanted the amendment. But he did not have the courage to face the nation with a plausible reasoning as to why he postponed it. Burnham and Hoyt would never have taken that direction because they felt mentally and politically comfortable in putting forward their positions. We see till today commentary, like in Trinidad and otherwise, and international journalists and Barbados, when Burnham was being interviewed, even though he was stealing elections like crazy. And he know, and they know, when he would answer them with his ferocity and his knowledge and his ability and his personality, sometimes he confused even the best of journalists. Back to the article. Both Burnham and Hoyt would have explained why the time was not right to have the change to the law, and would have faced the media and engaged exchanges with the journalists. For example, for Burnham's part, he would have laced his reason with funny retorts. He likes to make a few jokes in between, and in the process putting down the journalists. For Burnham's part, he would have laced his reason with funny retorts, while Hoyt would have taken a more vexed attitude, arguing with the media, yet facing them and fielding their questions, of course, with great intellectualism. I always say President Hoyt was a man of stature and class, and I have great respect for him still today. There hasn't been an elected head of government in any part of the world in the 20th and the 21st century, for over 200 years, ladies and gentlemen, who refused to meet regularly with the press. Granger formally called the press conference on 3 occasions in his reign of 5 years, 2 months, which showed most graphically the absence of leadership quality. Last night, a majority of Guyanese who would have gone to bed with a large dose of optimism after they read that Granger said he would accept the GCOM declaration without conditionality attached. One hopes they know a little bit about the man who was president for 5 years. Granger is not obsessed with the way he comes across as the 2 other presidents who came from the PNC were. Granger is going to dissolve your optimism before this day of July 31st comes to an end. He is going to do recount number 2. What is recount number 2? After me remotely cajoled him into accepting a recount, do not deceive yourself. Granger did not generate the idea of a recount. That came from Motley. See my column of Monday, July 6, 2020. So it was Motley who gave him the idea. A secret about the CARICOM recount covenant that must be told. Read that article. It is the game where Granger enunciates the direction, then weakens it, calling in others to do the mischief. So he agreed with the recount, but he allowed PNC lawyers to go to court to stop it. Then what? To throw it aside and to go back to the old count. When the GCOM declaration comes, if it ever comes, Granger is going to step back and allow the PNC and the AFC to argue what GCOM did was not a declaration but an illegality. And so they could create a kind of a riotous atmosphere of hate and cause unnecessary harm and destruction instead of coming out with glory. My words, ladies and gentlemen. And the Dracolian, the Dracula mentality then, drama will remain on stage. I hope I'm wrong, says Freddie Kissoon. He's hoping he's wrong. Friends and families, brothers and sisters, me, your friend, your brother, Haji Roshan Khan, saying thank you for listening to me and tuning in. And share when you're seeing this on watch parties or in Facebook posts, or if you go to the YouTube, RK's Guyana Free Media, over 120 episodes by yours truly, share. And when you're seeing it, showing live watch party, invite and share. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, saying thank you for tuning in and farewell.